Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Today we're in Saltaire, currently on Titus Street, not named after Titus Salt, Titus Salt Jr, his son. We've got a little story about him that may well be one of the creepiest stories in Bradford. It's on the outskirts of Saltaire, a place called Milner Field, which was the site of a former mansion. It was only here for about 6 years before being, well, attempted to blow up, but then pulled down due to the fact it seemed to carry a curse with anybody who moved there. So today we're heading through the woods to see if there is anything left of this accursed mansion. So this is a picture of what Milner Field looked like when it was a mansion. And Titus Salt planned for this house to be built in 1873 after he got married. What's left today looks like this. So there's a few rocks here. So after Titus Salt Jr had moved in, the curse of Milner Field began. So in amongst the trees you keep seeing the rubble of the mansion. Perhaps best of all is what's ahead of us here. Wow. Okay. This is going to be good. Only about 10 years after moving in, Titus Salt Jr had a heart attack and was found dead in the billiard room of the mansion. After his death, the business started to flounder, and so Milner Field was sold. The next people to come in was Sir James Roberts. But before going to that part of the story, let's see what's in the cellar. Gosh. Oh wow, look at this. It's amazing. So, I'm in the cellar of Milner Field Mansion. That is extraordinary. The cobwebs. Just for the noises, whatever I'm walking up. Whoa. Sorry for the lack of breath as well. This is not an exact walk in the park, that's the way out there. Wow. Okay, that's pretty awesome. It looks like the old coal chute. It's been filled in now though. That's just amazing. Like I said, the next people to move in was Sir James Roberts and his family. But it wasn't too long after that the curse of Milner Field Mansion struck again. 3 of James Roberts' sons died, and the 4th one was badly injured in World War I with life-changing injuries. Alice, who was Roberts' daughter, seemed to be okay, and she got married. But unfortunately the person she married was very jealous and ended up murdering a love rival, who we thought was a love rival anyway, and actually ended up in Broadmoor prison. So a real tragedy had befallen the Roberts family. So it wasn't too long before they too moved out. Look how that beam is bending. The bricks have already fallen and collapsed. I think it might be time for me to move on. Can I find my way back out? Oh, look at this. Yeah, of course, the stairs. There's no sign of the stairs at the other side. Look at these. Huge spiders. Wow. Okay, so heading out of the cellar. Or am I? There's a bit more here. That's where we were. Okay, just that bit there. Wow. Hello. Okay, that cellar was quite insane, wasn't it? And the spiders on there. It's not quite as insane as the story that followed. So our story continues after the Roberts family have moved out. The next family to move in was Ernest Gates, and he moved in 1923 with his wife. 2 weeks after moving in, his wife died. 2 years after moving in, Ernest himself died from blood poisoning. The ruins just go on and on. This looks like it was probably another cellar at some point. Look at the colours in those bricks. Okay, so now we're in what remains of where the conservatory would have been. If you look down at the floor, you can actually still see the mosaic on the floor. Imagine if you give that a good clean, it probably turns out still quite nice. However, the final people to move into this cursed mansion was Arthur Hollins. He moved in 1925. Not long after he moved in, once again, his wife died. I think of pneumonia at the age of 43, and then 3 years later he died. So death had followed every single family that had moved into Milner Field. So this is what the conservatory looked like. So the mansion was no longer lived in after about 1934, and by 1950, because of such terrible tragedies befallen all the families that had lived here, it was decided to get rid of Milner Field for good. One thing they tried to do was to dynamite it. However, Milner Field had many chimneys on top of it, and the dynamite didn't do its job, so in actual fact in the end it was just destroyed by hand. Which is why today, 70 years after it was pulled down, you can still walk around the ruins. There's still some very impressive pieces to be found. So there we go. That is our story of the curse of Milner Field. And yeah, I never know with stories like this. I think you have to make up your own mind. Was it really a cursed mansion? So far so good for me.
Apart from a few spiders in my hair, I'm okay. Still, who come near my dress like they say. So, I shall leave you to your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll see you soon. Hopefully. Take care. Don't have nightmares.